Hey everyone. Hey, sorry about not sorry for coming back because I was under the impression they was going to try to start court to have this jury instructions conference or whatnot, and then the judge still has to rule on this Rule 29. So, and I'm thinking, to me, just the way I'm thinking, I could be wrong, I don't know, but shouldn't he just rule on Rule 29 before going into instructions? Because would you need instructions if you was gonna get everything kicked out? What's up, Sebastian? I ain't seen you in a minute. But shouldn't that be that way? I'm not sure. Not no attorney. Don't even try to play one. But for people who wasn't for the previous thing, look, I know when people say charges have been dropped, it's so many predicate acts underneath the RICO. And it was the kidnapping, the sexual abiding, or whatever, some kind of thing in there. They dropped that in the arson from the predicates. So that's what we mean. I know people want to get technical. It's not a charge. Well, it's something they needed to prove. RICO. It's things that they've been trying to prove in this whole court case. This girl was held and all this crazy stuff. We know the story. And I'm not going to sit here and for a lot of people, why are you trying to free somebody who did this thing? You have to prove he did it. In court, you have to prove these things. If you was in court, you wouldn't want nobody to say, I believe, I believe, I believe. Come on, people. Let's not go there. Be an adult. We might not agree with each other in the chat. You can have your opinions. I get it. I respect that. I just don't agree. Let's not act like, just like a lot of content creators, they going to go and say what they got to say. They have that right to their own beliefs. For a lot of them that want to go and push it out there because, let's face it, a lot of people like to hear lies. The truth is hard to handle. So the people out there pushing lies because they can do that and make a lot of money because people love lies. They love lies. So that's fine. And that's your prerogative if that's what you want. But over here, we're going to just tell you our opinions. If it fit, good. If it don't, you must have quit. Do whatever, right? But the whole thing with this, we're here today because this should just be basic juror instructions. But the defense put some good grounds out there for this Rule 29. And
all right.
a lot of you people might want to just believe that, oh, the prosecution is just being nice. They don't want to bother the jury. They know they don't have a case for those. They seen what the defense put out there, and they had to retreat. But Sharrell, go ahead. You can say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just want to go over a couple things. This really caught my eye when I was online. They're saying that. Let me show you. It's really weird.
I'm on a different screen. I'll be back.
Okay.
I still can hear you
though. Where did it go? Oh my gosh, I closed it. Hold on, guys. So, as I came on X, I saw that Free Diddy was trending. Here, let me show you this, which is baffling, I guess. You'll see what I'm talking about. How come it's not working? Oh boy. So when I clicked on it, hold on. It's very strange. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I was already for it, and then terrible day. I'm just very sluggish. I can't find it. Anyway, yeah. Okay, hold on.
Okay, while you're trying to find it, I'm gonna answer a question I seen in the chat. Somebody said, "What is Rule 29?" It's something standard that right before uh, the defense start their thing, that they can go to the judge and say, "Hey, the prosecution haven't proven without a reasonable doubt, like are proven their case is really weak. Should we even pass this along to the jurors?" And the judge can either say, "Hey, either they proved enough or they didn't," and he could just go ahead and just kick it out at that point. 9 times out of 10, it never happens. But in this case, I think the defense did such a good job laying their grounds out. The prosecution realized, hey, they ain't playing with us. We're gonna embarrass ourselves with this BS. So they start waving the white flag, but they had to go through this.
Karen alert.
Well, we care so much about the jurors that we don't want to bother them with that. But you don't wasted 6 weeks of their time with it. Go ahead, Sharrell. What you got?
All right. So if you do, I have it on the screen. So if you see right here, it says free Diddy. So I clicked on that, right? And it looks like a protest is going on about freeing Diddy, but it's in Kenya. Strange, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
They were walking down the streets. Oh, this is wrong. Who did this? That is wrong. This is ridiculous. I want to see if I can find the videos. They were like standing on top of cars, saying "Free Diddy." Weird. Maybe he's real popular. Like what? Weird. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. So let me go back and click on Free Diddy.
I'm checking for updates while you're doing that.
Yeah, this is what I seen. They're protesting in Kenya to free Diddy. Strange. Maybe he's real popular over there.
Oh no,
Are you
no, it says
shocked?
something else. No. Maybe they had that up there because look at it right here. It says Kenya marks 1 year since anti-taxation protest. I think somebody could have just did that to make it sound good. You know what I mean?
Where it says, "I've just seen Free Diddy."
Oh yeah, right. But I'm saying maybe not. Well, I see that, but yeah, I don't know what they mean. Maybe it is. I don't know.
All soaps, Free Diddy. I don't know what's going on, but I just thought that was really, really weird. Yeah, maybe some funky AI stuff.
Yeah.
You can't believe what you see
Right.
on social media all the time.
Yeah, it's like
But
that.
I thought that was really strange.
I'm gonna go with AI.
This is Citizen Goons Free Diddy Central Police Station. I'm just gonna dismiss this right now
Right.
because I don't know
Because
what's going on.
and I can see if it was the verdict day or
Strange.
something, even all that. But yeah, it's sort of, AI is a terrible thing. Just like a
It
mind
really
is a
is.
terrible, it's like a mind. Your mind is a terrible thing to waste, right?
Mm.
People can waste their mind set on the truth, or you can just focus in on the lies.
Mhm.
Now, this whole thing and why we talking about this case is for justice, not what you believe or what you want, but justice, fair justice for everybody. That's why we here. But people just get they panties in a bunch and go off. But you're gonna have channels that give them what they want. They're gonna lie to you. We can lie to you too. I just choose not to. I just rather best be honest and just give you the truth as I know it. And that's based off my opinion. But
Now let's talk about this Tyrone Blackburn situation. Remember, I told you he probably is one of the worst attorneys that I know of. He's horrible. He lies, and the what is So his MO is to find a rich person, most likely African Americans, find a rich black man. Um, what do you call? I, I don't need where you say, okay, listen, this case, if I can really blow this case up in the media, it's not going to do well for you. But if you want, we could settle out of court right now. And he's asking for hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions in the T.I. and Tiny case. He's been involved in so many cases. I look at him like the black Tony Busby. He's the black Tony Busby. He screwed over Tiny and T.I. in the Larry Reed case. He was representing Dwayne Youngblood, saying that he was touched at a young age, and then come to find out, Dwayne was a registered ex-offender. He also blackmailed T.D. Jakes. Who else can I think of? He's the attorney for the Little Rod case. He is horrible.
He's a shakedown.
Horrible.
He's a shakedown artist. You know, like some
Shakedown.
people have, like some attorneys have that skill set where they can go to court and they can argue very well.
Mhm.
Some attorneys are good at writing up these lawsuits to force you to settle.
That's called lies. Go ahead.
It's called a shakedown attorney, a shakedown
It's
artist.
horrible.
That's basically. And right now, when we're going through these things, even like people gonna make their money. I don't agree with how he make his money. I think it's ridiculous. But for him, I guess he figured that's the only path to work. Like maybe he's living that lifestyle. Like some of these choices these women made, you wouldn't understand it unless you want to be part of the lifestyle. And I guess he figured that's how you can make money quick by shaking down people. But we're gonna see how these cases go. If, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, I can't guarantee nothing. I don't see 12 jurors voting Diddy guilty. So he'll walk some kind of way, maybe do a little time or say time served on that small charge they left out there for the actual acts.
All right.
But
So before we get into the paperwork for the Diddy case, I wanted just to read this about Tyrone Blackburn. And I'm telling you guys, he needs to be in jail for at least 10 to 15 years. He is what's wrong with the justice system and why I say our justice system needs reform. He's horrible. It says more drama in the Fat Joe civil case. His accuser's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, just got arrested for allegedly mowing down a process server with his car in New York City. A rep for the New York City Police Department tells us Blackburn was taken into custody Wednesday morning and booked for assault. Cops say it all started on the night of May 12th when Blackburn got into his vehicle as a 66-year-old passenger was serving him a complaint in the Fat Joe case. Oh, wow. 66, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Blackburn allegedly slammed his car into reverse and backed up, hitting the process server in the leg and causing a minor injury. The victim reported the incident to the police. Blackburn's arrest stems from a nasty legal matter involving Fat Joe, the rapper's powerhouse attorney, Joe Tacopina. Okay, I got it this time. Tacopina is probably my favorite, one of my favorite attorneys. I really do believe he would have won the Diddy case, but Jay-Z didn't want him working with Diddy. This is Jay-Z's attorney. He's really, really good. Tacopina tells us Blackburn sent a demand letter on behalf of Terrence Dixon to Fat Joe requesting $3 million for allegedly co-writing music with the hip hop star. Takapina, I don't know if it's Taka, Toka, it's spelled like taco, the first four words. Takapina says they blew off the letter, but Blackburn followed up with another demand letter claiming Fat Joe was messing around with underage. Okay. Takapina says that they wanted to get ahead of the situation, so they filed a lawsuit alleging defamation and extortion against Blackburn and Dixon. Then, when Takapina hired the messenger to serve the complaint to Blackburn, Dixon has since filed his own $20 million lawsuit against Fat Joe, accusing him of being a pedophile. We've reached out to Blackburn. So far, no word back. These attorneys, and I know you guys are going to take this very, very hard, right? But just hear me out. People like Blackburn and Tony Busby, people, they did, when I said that Tony Busby was a crook, I was crucified, hung at the stake. Tony Busby is one of the best attorneys there is. He shakes down rich African American men. I don't care how much he made in his other cases and all of that. Y'all saying, look what happened to Jay-Z. He said that Jay-Z was with a minor. That's bad. A disabled minor's even worse. These lawyers that come in on cases that have nothing to do with them and shake people down is a huge problem of our justice system. And they need to be disbarred. Jay-Z still has the case open against Tony Busby, and he's asking for sanctions. You cannot do that to people. Any kind of criminal court case or just court period is already very emotional. Somebody's life is always on the line, or, high stakes, stuff like that. You just can't have a crooked lawyer who you're supposed to trust and work with one-on-one come in and just shake somebody down. It's disgusting. And I think it's easier for people to accept it when I say Tyrone Blackburn needs to be in jail. Yay, get him in jail. When I say Tony Busby, who has a record of doing the same thing, you guys don't want to believe it. And it's because you believe the first thing that you hear in the media. You have to do some research, further research on these things. Nobody's lying on Tony Busby. When he seen that Jay-Z filed paperwork for sanctions, then he tried to back away. And they always do this at a very odd time, just like when they dropped some of the charges for this Diddy case. They'll do it in the middle of the night, when people aren't paying attention, so they don't become headline news. And he slowly backed his way out of that Jay-Z case, never expecting Jay-Z to follow through with his own lawsuit. It's crazy. Hi, Toria. Why is Toria always telling us first? She said this a long time ago. Busby is nothing but a shakedown artist. Busby not walking into a courtroom and proving anything he alleges that happened. He's the worst. He's the worst. And I know it. What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe hurt a lot of people, because sometimes when people have their mindset on something, they just keep it there. Like, okay, Tony Busby is just, helping out all the victims in the Diddy case. 120 lawsuits, and he made a big deal out of it. He held a press conference, and where's he now? Where's Tony Busby? He knew when he filed the lawsuits that he wasn't a licensed attorney in the Southern District. So, a lot of stuff is going on. A lot of stuff is going on. And I'm glad, hopefully, this is about to be over with, because we've been dealing with these cases for so long. And, we need Tyrone Blackburn disbarred. And we need Tony Busby disbarred. I think that it's so hard for people to change their minds because they get into these like cliques. We're pro Diddy, we're against Diddy, and they make friends in these chats, and they just don't want to take a step back and look at a situation with a clear head. Some people will go to their grave believing the first thing that they heard instead of being an independent thinker, taking a look at something and fairly judging it. So, good riddance. Bye. You need to be gone, sir. Look what you did to Tiny and Ti. And people think that just because a person is rich, that they can just get over on them. No. Just because a person's rich, I made this money. I don't have to pay you a dime. So this is what you get, and it's looking more and more each day like, well, I'll just leave that for a later story. But, you were all involved in the, what's the preacher's name? I can't think of his name. TD Jakes. TD Jakes. So, gangsters with degrees. You're right. Gangster with degrees. All right. Now, let me get this other stuff out the way. I'm very tired today.
I'm almost done. I'm trying something. I'm here. I'm trying to take care of some other stuff while you're talking.
Okay.
But, I mean, to piggyback off what you said, though, a lot of people could be in cliques, or it could be simply people refuse to admit there was wrong. Like, or been duped. Because, look, I got to keep it real. With this Diddy stuff, I had started forming an opinion. Damn, all these freak offs, man, you a big freak. Now, that part, I still look at it because I don't agree with his habits in the bedroom, but he had the right to do it. If that's what, if it's consensual and the other person wanted. But a lot of people refuse to back off or to tell the public, hey, you know what? I believe this stuff because all these things was floating around social media. I brought into a lot of stuff on social media. But now when you go to court, it goes to bed because if the stuff was true, they'll be on the stand testifying about it. You'll be getting this evidence. Because you get some people saying, what happened to the young ones? I'm sure if they tried to make kidnapping work and all these other charges, if they would have had proof of it, he would have been on trial for that too. But he wasn't. So I'm not under the belief that those things happen. I can't say they didn't, but obviously the feds don't think it happened. I'm sure they would have been loving to charge them with it.
So I'm trying to download this paperwork, and you're saying that these are the jury instructions?
Well, no, those was the things that the prosecution sent in, editing the Rule 29. Like the defense had a chance to come on and lay grounds to say, hey, we shouldn't even pass this to the jurors. The prosecution got a chance to rebuttal, to argue their point. So I guess they laid out some things about why they should keep certain charges in there. But then I guess last night they realized they had a very weak case when it came to these predicate acts, that they said they no longer going to believe in those theories or push forward with those theories. And that was kidnapping, arson, and abetting something, abetting, something like that. But they actually moved on from that. So those predicate acts won't be under the RICO. They kept the RICO. Mm-hmm. That's still there because that's what they want to make their name off of, the new standard they want to set. So they got to push forward with that, because without RICO, if they took that off, you spend all these millions of dollars and all this, raiding the mansions and stuff, and now you want to get him with something you should have just gave him a ticket for, a citation. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they trying to save face right now. That's what I believe. And people want to say, oh, yeah, no, they're doing it to make it easier for the jurors. No, they're not. Do not be a person who believe that. I told you, It's people who lie. They want you to believe that, so you look like they wasn't wrong for the last 6 weeks, why they couldn't put these things on trial. If they was trying to save the jurors, they should have been trying to save them 6 weeks ago and not come with the BS that they charged this man with. That's my belief. But you get people who still want to keep marching down the street. No, it's there, Perry. And then I seen somebody say, it's sort of funny sometimes because I got to laugh at it. I respect other people's opinion. They say, oh, well, he really going to get arrogant now that these charges been dropped. Yeah. Or not charges, but these predicate acts have been removed from the RICO. These predicate acts. And you get to have 2 of these predicate acts to even consider the RICO.
Okay, so Perry wants me to give you guys an update. So we know earlier they dropped these 3 predicate acts, okay? Now they're asking for, here are key instruction requests. This is what they're asking. How come I can't get the whole thing? There we go. This is what the government is asking for. It says, number 1, ex-trafficking and forced labor. The government seeks to clarify complex legal concepts for the jury with the following points. Consent doesn't equal no trafficking. Prior consensual X doesn't negate later X trafficking or forced labor. Okay. Let me go over this. Consent does not equal no trafficking. Why would they want that in there?
Okay.
Let
me tell you why. They're basically trying to say this. Anytime you take a person across state lines for these S acts, it's a crime, regardless whether it's consensual or not. The girl can consent to it, or the person who, the girl and the guy, whatever, the parties involved can consent to it, but it's still a crime. That's how they want to lay it out there.
So this is the prosecution. Okay. Payment isn't a defense. Payment, IG, James, $10,000 a month doesn't rule out coercion. Cumulative conduct. So they're saying, let me go back. They're saying that even though he pays her rent, that doesn't rule out, huh?
It's basically saying that has nothing to do with him coercing her. Like people saying, well, hey, the 10K, he still coerced her into doing these acts, which people heard her testimony with common sense should know he didn't have to do that. Why would he have to do it when it's something she was doing before she got with him? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Cumulative conduct matters. The jury should consider the total pattern of threats in ABUSE, not isolated incidents when assessing coercion. Next one, physical restraint not required. A victim not being physically restrained doesn't mean they were trafficked. Ugh. What do y'all think about this so far?
And so now they're trying to say now with that, I guess, just because the person wasn't forced to do this and they walked in with their own miniskirt and assumed a position on their own, it don't mean they wasn't trafficked. That's how I take it,
That's very odd. We'll go over it in a minute. That's very odd. So if you don't need force to consider it trafficking, then what do you need? Okay, let's keep going. Trafficker need not benefit. The defendant doesn't have to receive the thing of value from the X Act. Okay, they're kind of changing the goalposts. I understand this is what they're paid to do. I would do the same thing, put it all in there and let the judge sort it out. But the whole enterprise, he's supposed to be benefiting from it, right? And
Mhm.
now it's saying it doesn't have to be things of value to benefit.
Right.
What does it have to be?
Yeah. They just trying to focus in on a certain predicate, and that's trafficking. Well, no, they don't took that off the thing. That's a separate charge too. It's outside the RICO. So just in case the RICO go flat, they want to be able to say they got him for something.
Okay.
Yeah.
X acts need not occur. Trafficking can still apply if the act was attempted or intended but not completed.
Yeah.
Just the intent or the attempt, but that's a tricky one because if you don't look at it as attempt, that's being too broad. You don't have to actually receive anything of value. This is crazy. All right. Reckless disregard clarified. Jurors should be told what reckless disregard means legally, as many won't be familiar. I agree with that. Conspiracy law. The government proposes expanded language to explain conspiracy more thoroughly to avoid jury confusion and minimize clarifying notes. No. The definition is the definition. You can't add words to the definition, but they tried it. Let's see if it works. That screams you're moving the goalposts. If I tell you that robbery means taking money, and then I want to add to it. What? Okay. Now, RICO, interstate commerce. The government asked the court to state that narcotics trafficking automatically affects the interstate commerce. No, what? And then they state case law. We're gonna have to break all this down. No. Next, venue. Request removal of ministerial functions, wording suggesting it may confuse jurors. Ask that preparatory acts be defined more clearly by using beach nut precedent to ensure venue can be established when a victim is contacted in the district via social media. Listen, this is crazy. They're changing the goalposts. They want to add words to definitions. Some words they want to subtract from definitions. They want to change what jurisdiction means. We could use social media even if you're not in the same place. No. And you know what, you guys? The judge is going to give it to them. And unanimity. The government objects to the jury being told they must be unanimous on every act related to what? Related to the ex trafficking or Mann Act charges. Isn't that how court works? You have to be unanimous.
Well,
what?
Or are they saying this like when like if you question 12 people and you sitting at the jury and you sitting there, you saying that even though two of you guys said no,
Right.
y'all gonna have to agree to something or just stay here forever. No, is that what they saying? I don't know. I'm not.
It sounds like to me they said the government objects to the jury being told they must be unanimous. What?
Right.
What is this? Is this the kind of they are changing the goalposts? It's always been a unanimous vote ever since I've been on this planet.
Well, I guess I don't know what the hell
I've
they
never
saying.
heard of these things. I'm trying to be fair though and read it neutral, but what? Instead, they propose that jurors must agree at least one specific instance per count. Jurors don't need to agree on every detail of that instance. Okay. just that all legal elements are met. No, you guys, we cannot let them do this in this case. It's Diddy today, it's you tomorrow. They're
Yep.
changing the goalposts. What have you guys ever heard that you don't need a unanimous vote? Because one person could lead to a mistrial. Now they're saying, you don't need all 12.
Well, no, then somebody says the defense is allowing this question mark. No, I mean, this is what they're proposing to the judge. Like both sides have proposed different things. And I think when they have this conference today, which that they said is going to be noon, but I think it could have got pushed back to 2 Eastern, then they'll go over these suggestions. But the judge is the one that actually says what he's going to use and what he's not going to use. That's from my understanding. But I'm wondering why he pushed it back to 2. Is he really considering, and it's a possibility, I know it sounds crazy, when you see them writing up stuff like this and then actually dropping some predicate acts that was really important, most of their testimony, will he go ahead and set Diddy free? I don't know. So you might not even have to go into this conference if he just make a ruling in the favor of the defense with this Rule 29, which we seriously doubt if you do, but I'm just wondering.
Can they just rewrite the law like this in front of us? Oh, you don't need to be unanimous. Just agree on 2 things and that's it. That's insane. I've never heard. You guys, what's the purpose of court if you can get in there and change the rules during a trial?
Yeah,
now, I'm trying to be as fair as I can be.
But
that will affect us all, not just Black people, everybody. If I can get to court and change the rules, is this illegal? I mean, I guess it's not illegal, but okay. No, they have a right to ask for it, but I guarantee you this judge, he'll do it. Wow. If he does that, he's going to cause such a big problem because people aren't going to just allow you to do that. It feels like a witch hunt. And basically, everybody has a right to a fair trial, whether you like him or not. He has a right to a fair trial.
Right.
Because if they can do it for them, they can do it for anybody.
But I would say this, though. Now, that's just what they're suggesting, right? You know how
I know it's crazy.
Objection, and then people will come back and overrule. The defense is not going to allow them to do it. Now, and if the judge go ahead and do something crazy, which he probably really don't want to, because now you're setting up for an appeal, if not more, you know what I'm saying, if you're doing something crazy. So just in my thinking, that's what they're trying to slide through and do something. But to me, it sounds like they should go ahead and just wave the white flag, you know, say I'm sorry, walk out, and leave this alone. Because I don't think 12 jurors are going to vote him guilty.
Well, you don't need 12 now. Majority rules.
Yeah.
If they accept this, you won't need 12. You just need majority rules.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Did you send me the defense?
No, I don't have theirs. I mean,
Okay.
there's they talked about it yesterday. You know, you pretty much covered it, the grounds, and they were so heavy that you know that they was good. Now we here where we at today. If you can find theirs, fine. But at the same time,
I got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
That was wild, you guys. Very, very wild. But I guess that's what they get paid to do.
But it do say here on the top, it says summary government. Oh, you moved it.
Oh, you want me to put it back?
No, you're fine.
Okay. Now, Perry, I'm probably one and done after this video.
Yeah, me too. So I'm
Bless
hoping
your heart, huh?
I'm hoping he'd come with it and get it out the way. You know, like do something. Stop playing around. The jurors off. We're waiting to see what's going to happen here. Make a ruling. Make a ruling on Rule 29. Because really, if you did it the right way, you wouldn't need to waste time for no instructions.
Okay, so
And if he pushed it back to 2:00 Eastern, look, what you got 2 or 3 hours to discuss it? Why are we delaying it? Unless you just gonna come clean, or you need more time to think about your career. Should you let this go forward? How it's gonna look on you when you didn't have sense enough to say the prosecution just don't have enough?
all right, now the defense is not completed yet, but this is what they have so far. Opposition to additional jury instructions. Defense believes some of the prosecutor's proposed instructions are unbalanced or prejudicial. Oh wow. Okay. They're playing hardball. They may argue that including detailed instructions on accumulative conduct, payment, or coercion could unfairly sway the jury towards conviction. The defense may be citing a United States versus Dove, suggesting the government's instructions improperly assume guilt or are biased. The government counters the Dove doesn't apply here and that its instructions reflect standard legal principles. Voluntary participation argument. Defense appears to argue that if a victim consented previously, received payment, or had the ability to leave, then they weren't trafficked or forced.
Well, yeah, I don't know how you can feel that it was forced or made to do something besides something they wanted to do. They're desperate, and they tried to push this thing. Now they really just overboard.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Why do they have to ask for these things? Can't they just put down what the definition of trafficked or force is? It's just a question. The defense questioned Jane and Mia about whether they could have walked away from the situation, implying no coercion. You guys, here we go. Defense emphasized that Jane and Mia were not physically restrained, possibly arguing that this undermines claims of trafficking or forced labor. Pretty much saying what Perry said. There were times that they could have left, but they're saying probably like just because a person doesn't leave or returns back doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's getting confusing. That I don't know
It don't
about
mean,
that.
it
Let's
don't mean
move
you
on.
was,
Huh?
yeah. It don't mean you was trafficked or forced. Just because they came back along, it don't mean they was forced to, or come on. No, there's no force there, and you ain't got no evidence that they was forced. That's why they coming with all this crap
Oh,
here.
wow. Listen to this. The government pushes back, stating that the physical restraint is not required under the law. So they're saying kidnapping doesn't mean you're held against your will. It could be. I don't understand that.
Well,
Let me
yeah,
read it again, huh?
it's not about the kidnapping now. It's about the trafficking. They basically saying, and you don't physically have to be
That's what I meant.
restrained and forced to do this just by you doing the act. This trafficking alone. But
Ugh. If they do that, does that mean like people can't have group sex, even though I'm not one for that? Is it putting that,
well,
changing the goalpost, saying if you
okay,
have, group
you know how like
sex or
they
three
got things,
SLM?
they got things that I don't know what you call them that has to be met to be considered
Right.
trafficking, and that's being restrained or forced, right?
Mm.
They saying, well, now we shouldn't consider that because we don't have to show you proof that they was. We just telling you, do you believe they, this person basically would have never did this unless they was. So you got to vote trafficking. I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah, it needs to be simplified. This is confusing. The defense may want the jury to unanimously agree on the specific acts, and then in parentheses it says means in trafficking counts. The prosecution opposes this, arguing that the law only requires anonymity on the element of the crime, not the specific means. No.
And then somebody in chat said, well, it means that they returned on their own with no force, but just out of fear. Come on now. How often or how do you determine that? Were you
It's
in a
almost
head?
saying like,
You know,
let's just take the Elizabeth Smart case. Remember, she was taken from her bedroom in the middle of the night
mhm.
and forced into these things, to do these things. They went to parties, they smoked weed, they were sometimes in her neighborhood around the corner,
Mhm.
but they did still consider it kidnapping. And everybody was upset, like, what?
Well,
She was just sick of her parents. She wanted to go hang out and smoke. Because who
and
goes to a party if you're kidnapped?
but
That's
I
that's
think
what I think that's
right.
the argument is.
And this is what I think too, though. In that situation, I think it was the age that was important because it's no discussion. You ain't get to meet these things if they're under a certain age.
The age was important, but I was just saying, like,
Oh yeah,
remember, people were like, she's not really
right.
kidnapped. She was just hanging out smoking. There are some people tied in the basement and put in
Right.
a box.
Hmm.
That's kidnapping. But when you're at a house party, listening to music, smoking weed, are you really kidnapped?
Hmm. Hey, hold up. I know I'm kidnapped. I'm gonna run down to the Burger King. I'll be back. You need something? Extra cheese? No ketchup? Whatever. Like they had plenty of opportunity. If they want to bypass that because they know the defense is arguing, oh, this didn't happen. These people did it on their own will. Nobody was forced to do anything or none of this. I got my homeboy, Judge Woods, in the house.
All right. So
Yeah.
these are the most important, one of the most important parts of the trial is jury instructions. I feel like, well, what are your thoughts that you don't have to be unanimous, just majority rules?
Right. That's no. Yeah, that's crazy. But they know that's what they need to win their case. Like I just said the whole time.
That was the prosecutor saying, it doesn't have to be
Right. No.
unanimous.
Right. I know that's what I'm saying. They're saying that because it only takes one person to hold out to say, no, I ain't buying your argument. Well, it don't have to take all of them. Can we get 8 of them? 7 of them? Just, I don't know what they said, but that's how I'm taking it. That not everybody have to vote on it. It's to agree on it, to make it a charge. That's what it sounds like. Judge Wood
What do
says
y'all think? It's
government
crazy.
scrambling, scraping, and scraping and scrambling. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. And why did we get this delay? I know I could just be pushing up something, but they ain't did shit all morning. What's the delay? And when is this judge supposed to make a decision on this Rule 29?
Look at number 3.
Hmm.
Defense appears to argue that if a victim consented previously, received payment, or had the ability to leave, then they weren't trafficked or forced. I mean, the received payment part, do you call it force if you were paid for it?
No. No,
Hmm.
they basically saying this is the defensive argument that they argue if a victim consented previously. Like, say, if you've been saying yeah the whole time, then you was down for it. Receive payment, like they said
That's
they have, or the ability to leave, then they wasn't trafficked or forced. But they're mentioning this because they're gonna come up with some argument why you can't allow that. But in my mind, they wasn't. You got to show me somebody being forced, show evidence, some kind of proof that they was coerced. Because
complicated.
that's just an opinion based on the situation. That's somebody looking at it. Were they coerced? If you want Diddy to go down, you will say yes.
I think that this person just put it in layman's terms. Can a can a dancer be kidnapped when you voluntarily go there?
Right. I mean, yeah. I know what they mean. They mean if that's what you showed up to do on your own will, can
Mhm.
you change it to say you was forced to do it? No.
But let me go back to the one that really, how should I say, bothered me the most
Mhm.
is that you don't need a unanimous vote. I got all these tabs open. Oh my goodness. Not lost where I was.
Where's Wayne Law at? I need the expert to let me know why they delaying this thing today.
Okay, that's the defense. Hold on. Oh my God. I need to go. This is it for me, Perry. I cannot do it anymore. I'm going to need a break. I'm tired. There's your boy. Let's see what he says.
Judge Wood says this: the government literally has the judge to quote a case so they can help jurors understand the charge. Ain't that helping leading the jury? Yeah, but the, now, okay, at the end of the day, I know the judge got the right to take both sides and do it, and I don't think the judge would. I don't know. He has been sort of out there. At this point, the judge probably shouldn't even need these instructions. Is what I'm saying. At this point, rule on this rule 29.
The judge has to clear this up. It is very confusing because they're saying that the government seeks to clarify the legal concepts for the jury the following points. Consent doesn't equal no trafficking.
Right.
So if you participated in it and you show signs of liking it and all that, you're still
Yeah.
trafficked.
hmm Because that's what they want it to be. It's still whatever we want it to be, Your Honor. Come on, stop it.
And also, they're saying payment isn't a defense. Payment, Jane's 10K month rent doesn't rule out coercion. You're going to do things differently if you feel like your rent isn't going to be paid.
Well, and what they saying, yeah, it don't rule out. I mean, but and they leaving out a lot. They saying, yeah, because Jane got 10K a month, doesn't mean he still didn't have to coerce her. It still don't mean he didn't coerce her to do these other things. Come on now. I don't know what world they grew up in. The girl was bowdy bowdy.
Oh my God.
Her
Now,
own.
a lot of these, I'm willing to let the judge work out for himself. Well, we have no choice. That's the rule. But the one I'm really concerned about is two. A victim not being physically restrained doesn't mean they weren't trafficked. That's the definition of traffic. I remember I was telling you guys we have a huge problem with it here in Vegas. And sometimes you could just be walking down the street by yourself and they will drive up, take you, put you in a car, take you upstairs to these lavish
Right.
hotels that everyone comes from all over the world to see. And like the Bellagio, and upstairs, crimes are being committed. And these women stay until they are released or unalived or stuff like
Mhm.
that. So that was on the news just a couple weeks ago. Like Vegas is a real flashy place. It's got the most billionaires in any other city. It's stellar, very clean, very nice, but it's still Sin City. It's horrible. Am I right, Perry? It's
No, you're right.
so
Yeah.
dangerous. Vegas is dangerous, but we do things like they don't tell you the name of the person. Let's say there's something happened. There's a pow pow. They'll say pow pow happened on so and so street, but they don't give the name in the articles, so you
Right.
can go look it up and start a case and stuff like that. They want you to think that Vegas is safe when it's probably one of the most unsafe cities in the United States because trafficking is no joke here.
And
And a lot of those women are taken against their will, but now they're saying even if you're not taken against your will and you just go anyway to the freak off, that's still trafficking. No, it's not. They are saying that they still have a unanimous decision, but the unanimity could be on parts of the charge, not all parts of the charge. I don't know. I don't know. You have to admit that that's not normal procedure. So the problem I have with that is it's not even a Diddy versus the prosecutor thing. I'm talking about if we keep changing the rules in this case, then we can change the rules in any case. You've got to abide by the rules. And I've been saying that for day one, because if they want to change the law, make them put it on the floor in Congress.
and so I'm confused too, because maybe they trying to say this too. This thing that they ain't got to agree to the full statement, just part of it.
Yeah.
So and so got robbed. John Doe robbed the bank. You can just go with, we know the bank got robbed, but we don't know if it was John Doe. So we got to go ahead and that's good enough for us. Was the bank robbed though? Yes. Guilty. I don't know. Maybe I'm just I don't get it, but I'm sure the defense will handle it. That's why they got this conference.
All right, let me take some comments and then I can't go on. Perry, you can stay if you want. And what do you guys think about these jury instructions that the judge has to make a final decision on? It doesn't make any sense. So even if someone is not being forced to have sex for money, you could still be charged with trafficking.
Right.
I shouldn't be laughing. It's
No,
serious.
that's what
We
they
got to
want out
follow
there.
the law, huh?
That's how they want the RICO and all these things are set up. And 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 once you agree to things like that, now they can apply this rule all over the place because they it's like some people say it's 35 predicates under RICO, but they only use 8 or whatever, but they don't got rid of some of them now, so they narrowed it down. But if you can have something this general, anybody can be guilty. It's just crazy.
Just Mel says, I believe they are responding to James' jacked up testimony. That testimony. We have to stop using these laws on straight 304s unless they have pure evidence to prove their self. All women are not the same. Respect is given accordingly.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
true.
That's right, Wayno. Wait, no.
Oh, hi, Quentin. See what Quentin says. RICO is so broad. That's what people don't understand. And that's why earlier today, Quentin, when we first came on, they were asking to the judge to narrow the laws, be very specific in what the jury is looking for. Because if you just say, go ahead, it's so broad. But for me, the most concerning thing is I don't need 12 unanimous votes. The justice needs to intervene and dismiss this case because they're making it worse. The government, they cannot change the law the way the law is applied. It is what it is. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
I hope the judge does that. If he allows this to go through, just follow the rules. Whatever the rules are, just
Mhm.
follow the rules. But unless I'm wrong, in my 54 years on this planet, I never heard you don't need a unanimous vote. See what else you guys are saying. What's the point of having 12 jurors when some of them don't count? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
He can't let this go by. He
Or
cannot.
it's the use of having to prove something without a reasonable doubt. If you believe part of it, just a little bit of it, you you must charge. Come on now, you got to be in a whole agreement. If you can't prove your case, this sounds like like it's coming from a person who can't prove their case and threw stuff out there and want you to believe these videos they've been watching over and over and over again
What
about his character.
videos?
If you believe well, no, the freak offs. If
Oh,
you believe he got a bad character, that's good enough on these charges. You at least we know you got a bad character, right? Okay, well, you got to charge him. I don't know. It's ridiculous. And what's taking them so long? Are they wasting the whole day? The whole day was supposed to be juror instructions and all this. Now they submit things. The judge need more time to make his decision. Is that way he doing it? But when do he supposed to get around to this Rule 29, making a decision on it? Do anybody know? Anybody?
I probably won't be here when it comes in. Is that okay, Perry?
It might be. I know. Well, yeah. I'm wondering if we could sort of. I mean, 'cause it might not come on for if he said 2 Eastern. That's another 50 minutes with
Yeah.
no updates. I wonder, do we put it on that court viewing and then come back if they got something, or and let them still chat if they want to? I don't know.
Let me read this one. It's in caps. Hold on one second. And they're the ones that pick the jury. You try to get Perry. Where was Judge Wood on earlier when you lost control?
No, I don't think he was here this morning.
Judge Wood, you got to go back. Perry lost control this morning. You still need a unanimous vote. They're saying just not on all of the counts of the trafficking, just one count of trafficking. No. All right.
They begging. It sounds like they begging. But I wonder if we could like put up the court view, then come back. That way people still can chat.
Hi, Yvette.
And because ain't no telling, like we can get off and then 10 minutes later, now they in the court. I don't know when they're gonna get here. I'm looking for updates now.
Yeah, Yvette said the big day is tomorrow, so he needs to get some type of decision. Please.
Mm-hmm.
Please. Let me see. Beth says, Perry, the prosecution is dropping the attempt charges only. This is not a win-win for you or your followers. RICO charges have already been proven with receipts. Game over, Diddy. Enjoy.
I know. I mean, and I respect that. I'm only saying this. I didn't need them to drop anything for how I felt. I still don't think you're gonna find 12 jurors to vote him guilty. Nothing changed from that part. Actually, it probably increased by your own prosecution team waving the white flag, giving up some predatory acts. That would look like to me, but look like you holding on to faith.
This is OT, first time that has been used, the highest time determined. I don't know. I want this to end.
Me too, because I'm tired.
That's judicial influence. Well, we don't know if he's going to do it. Well,
No, we don't. And I don't know what he's waiting so long for.
and they got rid of one of the jurors.
Mm-hmm.
That was number 6, right?
Yep.
We understand your perspective, Perry. You are a hell of a defense attorney.
No, not quite. You don't want me if you go in there, but I'll be
Lori
on the
says
jury.
it's going to be a hung jury. I don't know. It's very difficult. My stance is still the same. I'm glad I'm not on the defense. Personally, I would not give Diddy a life sentence. I just wouldn't. But that's me, and my opinion does not count. And I think that they have a very tough decision to make. Whatever happens, I'm old school, and I was alive during the OJ case. whatever happened in that OJ case, the opposite side, it was tension. It was so much tension. Remember that? And
Yeah.
people were screaming. And do you think we're going to go through that again? I mean, it was so much tension. And when they said not guilty, the crowds cheered. And then you could see a picture of Kim. What was her name? Goldman, Kim Goldman, falling into her father's arms, crying, and Kris Jenner was there, and Bruce now, what's his name? Bruce was there. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just the name is. It was so much tension.
So let me just try to give one little update. I mean, because I think we got 55 minutes before they supposed to start this thing now. But Inner City Press has says that's what they're saying. I am ready. Oh, no, that's not it. Well, I don't lost what it was. But oh yeah, he was saying I am ready to tweet it. If they don't get the charge conference done today,
Oh my
can't
God.
have closing arguments tomorrow because the arguments are tailored to the
Around.
final jury charge. So in 49 minutes. So they saying we got like 49 minutes. That's a long time to be sitting here with no updates. But I'm wondering, I don't know what to do. Do we
Take a vote. Put a poll.
I don't know how to do the poll. Let me see.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, did we set it up?
Yeah, I think I did that, but I didn't set a poll.
Let's see. Did I do it again?
No, or the poll.
No, setting it up.
Was set up. I set that up. Make sure.
You did?
Yeah.
Perry, what would I do without you? When I get like this, I'm just tired. I'm in here, no makeup. I just feel like I'm floating.
No, I understand. I feel the same way. Like,
Because I stayed up last night. So for some reason, I was just up, just enjoying my life. Like I didn't have nothing to do the next day. Thank you, Perry. You did set it up.
somebody said, come back at 2. And if any updates, you could read them all at once. Oh, but 2 Eastern? Oh, talking about come back in 45 minutes? 50 minutes? Let's see.
Should we come back in 45? I don't know, Perry. A lot of people are on. It's up to you. If you stay on, I don't know. I'm going to check out for a little bit.
Yeah, I might can stay in, but can you put something up like the view of the courthouse or something? Then let me take
Right. Okay. Everybody said come back. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. You said do the courthouse. Okay.
Yeah, and then I can come back, and I still want some breaks because once we hit at 2, we might go to 5. 3 hours. You know what I'm saying at that point. So
all right. Let me find it. Hold on.
that way I can research other things too to see what's going on, and then keep popping in, giving updates. And that way people still can just hang out and just, if they want to chat with other people in the chat, they can. Pinky asked, was Law and Crime on? I don't know. I think maybe too early. Well, I can't remember what
I
time
just
they
checked.
were.
They're not on. But,
Okay.
So I was looking for another one. Rutgers, but they're just showing. I guess I can let this play, and then when they go live, they can just start talking. Or should I go to Law and Crime? So they've got people just sitting in the chat. So all the lives are just showing a picture of the door, and people are just talking in their chat. Maybe we'll do that, and then keep the sound on, so if they go live, we could hear it.
Okay, that sounds good. 'Cause that way,
That?
give me a little break because if they start at 2, it still can go 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, Perry,
And
I
so,
might not return. So
well,
you
I hear you.
have
Yeah,
to be okay.
yeah, I hear you.
So hold on,
Yeah,
let me
I mean,
find.
I just need a little break so one of us can return.
Yeah. Is it okay? It's
Yeah,
real
that's fine.
bad today. Like I've been up all night.
No, I hear you. That's good.
Thank you.
Mm.
Okay, and so I'm gonna put it kind of
For me?
loud so you can hear it
Okay.
when the music
I
comes
mean, because
on.
I can't hear it now, but
Mhm.
you guys nothing to hear, right?
Hi, Heather. Yeah. All right, guys. So we're just gonna leave this screen up. I most likely will not be returning.
But I'll be
I
back
just
though.
I just can't go on. I don't know why
I'll
I'm
be
so
back.
tired. I usually could stay up a day.
Oh no, I was
Huh?
telling them I'll be back though.
Yeah, Perry will be back. Unless it I was not expecting to come on today either. So all right, guys, I'm out and I'll see you when I wake up. I'm not gonna lie, I'll see y'all when I wake up. And hopefully it'll be soon and I'm still asleep. All right. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.
All right, people. I'm just stepping out, take me a lunch break and stuff like that. But I will be popping in and out. And thanks for watching. Be back.
call mom business.
What's up, everybody? I'm back. Still looking for updates. I'm not sure what's going on. I mean, I know they had said earlier noon they would go in for jury instructions, and perhaps he would make a decision on that Rule 29. But I've been checking for updates. Don't really see much right now. I don't really see much right now. But let me see. I had something that inner city press was talking about. He was just in there chatting, but basically he says no. I guess he responding to somebody's question. All charges were not dropped. From a letter from the U.S. attorneys has removed instructions on attempted kidnapping under California New York law, attempted arson under California law, and aiding and abetting sex trafficking. U.S. no longer plans to proceed on these theories. Okay, no, well, we know that. It says something else. Okay, then he had mentioned this. He says more. Now, I think yesterday, U.S. Attorney Comey said that she doesn't expect the jury to begin deliberating until Monday, yet want both Thursday and Friday to be 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The legal charge to the jury won't take 8 hours, nor 6, nor even 4. So I hope it ain't gonna take no 8 hours because today is Wednesday. Let's go ahead and get with the juror instructions. So at this point, I don't know what's going on. Anybody heard anything? Because I don't see where everything's popping. Ain't no activity outside the courthouse. Ain't nothing popping there, but let's see. I guess he's just still asking questions, but maybe he got time to answer questions because I don't think they're in there in the courts yet. But he's answering somebody's question. He says, jury has not been sequestered. They were sent home yesterday and told return tomorrow, Thursday, for closing arguments at 9 a.m. So jurors definitely not coming back today. They said that yesterday. They'll be there on Thursday. Hold on, no. I got you. I'm tripping. Tomorrow is Thursday. Yeah, so Thursday. So they need to get on there and get to these juror instructions. That's what I'm thinking. Just get with it. I'm tired already. Wife tired. Everybody's tired. But it was a crazy morning. A lot of people now, I think, where we sort of going with things is that, everybody sort of dug in on their opinions or whatnot because they both rested. So either you got an opinion on you think is 12 jurors gonna vote him guilty or innocent. I know that's not gonna happen. I'm not a fool to think they're gonna vote him innocent, 12 jurors, but I don't think all of them will vote him guilty. And now we got people scrambling, right? Scrambling to admit maybe they was wrong. It shouldn't be hard. Just say, hey, this is what I believed earlier, but I don't believe they proved it. You got people who double down, right? Who are hell bent on forcing this narrative that this man is guilty of RICO, guilty of a lot of things, baby. But we're talking about RICO. And some people, they don't care about their own communities. It's about their own purse, their own wallet. What's in your wallet? That's all they care about. And they're going to keep trying to do it. And I'm going to tell you this, it's going to be crazy. And this is what I seriously believe. It's just my opinion. That 12 jurors aren't going to do it. It's going to be a hung jury, mistrial or whatever. he gonna walk. These people gonna come out there, instead of saying, hey, the government didn't prove that thing, they gonna say Diddy brought his way out of this. Yo, come on now. He brought his way out of it. I think that's a crazy thing to say. I mean, I guess every loser do have an excuse. Now they're scrambling, and I don't know, like I said, every content creator gonna have their own opinions. I respect that, and they have that right. But at the end of the day, I got mine, and I'm gonna speak my points. This is what I think. Now they can keep harping on Diddy, going back and forth. I think it's just he need Rico. He need to go down. He need to pay for some things he did, but so do if they were so into justice. Why ain't they saying anything about these women who went and sold themselves? If that's what they want to get them for, I know people get immunity to turn evidence and all that stuff, but these same people can overlook justice when they want to, but they gonna bend over for justice when they want to get Diddy. Cammy, I see that. You said I'm going down with Diddy. No, I mean, it's not even about the Diddy. His name can be Tyrone, Rick. It is the whole thing is for me, the RICO was an overcharge. Can you admit that? This is not a criminal enterprise. To me. And people say you don't have to profit. I don't see where all of them worked in unison, where all of them gain something. Typically, if you get an enterprise, everybody set to gain something. It's a plot. Diddy got his freak on with the women who wanted to get their freak on. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Now, it's how you do it, I guess. But when they had these entertainers and stuff, where they talking about trafficking and all that stuff, a man can have private times with his woman. If he want to share his woman, he got the right to fly his woman to another country over the state lines. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's consensual. I haven't seen at no point where I feel like these people have been forced or coerced to doing these things. And it's funny how they can say, well, Jane was coerced. When she did it her own free time, was she coerced? Come on, people. Sometimes a 304 is a 304. And that's for the woman's side. And a monster freak is a monster freak. That's what they do. You get to put in mind, people, like, nobody's defending Diddy. Diddy could be this monster freak. That's what he is. But we can't just pass judgment on his side and overlook the rest of them and start coming. Stockholm Syndrome. Fear for something. No, they wanted his status. They wanted cash. They want to be popular. Jane will tell you herself, she ain't messing with no broke ninja. She just not. Just not. Let me see. And then Cammy says this, yeah, good. She says, yes, sentencing is an overkay, but Rico is gonna stick in my humble view. Maybe, like I said, this is just my belief, but it's hard for me to believe 12 jurors gonna see it that way. It's really hard for me to believe it. But I do respect that, though. That's just how you see it. I don't think no bribery was in there, like people say. Maybe stolen goods that the guys from the hotel stole the videotape. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let me see. What else we got? 304. Yeah, let me see what we got here. Dorian says this 304s will have the green light to get the bag going forward. Yeah. This is what I think, people. I think that Diddy's going to walk whether you agree or disagree. That's just my opinion. I don't think 12 jurors going to vote him guilty or innocent. But when this is over with, all these civil cases that you seen floating up where everybody chasing the bag, not just when I say 304s, it pertains to men too. And there's some of those out there that's doing the same thing, chasing the bag instead of getting up like most men do and going working a 9 to 5 or whatever you got to do. They rather lay on their back too or get on their all fours or whatever for their cash. That's just how I see it. What would the judge let go through? I wonder. That's a good question, Yvette. I don't know. But shit, it'd be nice if we can get to it. It'd be nice if we can get to it. And I'm checking for updates now. Yeah, this whole thing is just crazy. You know, I guess people just so boring and life is crazy right now with, the economy going the way it's going, that they got to find some kind of excitement. And they'll find excitement for a man going down a river. Now, I can see you'd be excited if he was found guilty and you really felt like he was guilty of the charge. They just want to see a man, headline news, Diddy goes to prison for life or whatnot. How bad could your life be when that's the only thing you could wake up and think about? I need some excitement. It sounds like you might need a freak off. Maybe you need the baby oil. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, something is wrong. Judge Wood says this. What about Vince McMahon? Even worse, but no RICO. Exactly. We talking about the justice system is on trial. You want to say, oh, he did this. Diddy's on trial. Yeah. Our justice system is on trial. When could justice be fair to everyone, regardless of race or sex or religion? When can it? We want fair. Then people go, oh, well, you making a race thing. No, I'm speaking from a race saying this is how we feel. This is what we see. We should be adults to be able to understand that. The reason why these problems don't ever get solved because people never want to have a conversation about them. That's how I feel about it. No, you better not say that. They gonna feel like this. Hey, at this point, either you live for something or die for nothing. At my age, I don't live my life doing whatever. I want a better life, fairness for my kids, my grandbabies. But then you get these other side. Oh, we need to hang him. We out for the victims. No, hell you ain't. No, you're not. You want what victims? That was treated unfairly, but then you want to send somebody down the river unfairly. It just don't make sense. But I know it's a money maker. It's a money maker for some people to act like they're an advocate. But if you ask these people how many people have they saved, it'll be 0. They saved 0. That's the crazy part. Let's see. 12 minutes. No. Damn. Are they just going to cancel court for today? Or what they doing? Has anybody seen anything about an update anywhere in the chat? Because I'm refreshing, but sometimes my phone is not as fast. Diddy snitching. How many people in the chat saved someone? Question mark. No? And it's about whether you save somebody. I think the biggest question too, don't act like you out here advocating saving somebody when you haven't. When I come on here and speak about, I'm speaking about this to try to save people by saying, hey, you let them make this RICO a standard, it will harm other people in the future. Oh, hold up. Somebody says, yes, it was canceled. For today? No. Maybe you're right. Let me see. Diddy guilty? Is that? Well, no. Tomorrow, maybe they plan on doing it tomorrow. Diddy guilty as many things. Let me see. Hold on. What we got here? Miss G Dove says this. Diddy is guilty of many things. There would not be justice in this world. Forget about it. It is not one nation under God with justice for all. No, it definitely ain't that. Let me see. Yes, they asked that everyone come back Thursday. Damn. So it almost seemed like it's a wrap. That's for the day. Let me see. That boy CNN posted it. Posted. Ended it today. They will continue tomorrow. Okay. Well, let me see. What can I do? I'm gonna drop it for a few minutes. Drop the link for a few minutes, and just to see how y'all feel about it so far, and then we'll come back with this tomorrow. Let me see. And ladies, sorry about earlier in the morning. I wanted everybody's opinion, but then when I got into a certain part, I just wanted the men to talk because a lot of people saying, "Hey, it's you guys are just backing Diddy." No, we just know what it's like being a black male in America, and wanted to just have that moment. And maybe I would start doing more black male moments on this show just to talk about things and get our perspective. Because Sharrell have a lot of women be on her show a lot anyway, talking about these things. So we'll see. At Wayne Perry. Oh, Perry had asked the Con Diddy who they say. So I just asked him the same question. Oh, okay. Ladybug says, thanks for allowing black men to speak. Yeah, a lot of social media, you got black men doing certain things and talk on it. But sometimes it's good just to have that regular conversation because women are on here a lot talking about their experiences, how they feel. Men have feelings also. So that's the thing. Okay, so somebody says pretty much nobody's coming up. Perry, go and relax. Go love your wife. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. But people, I'm gonna say this. Everybody, thanks for popping in, hanging out with us and stuff. It's been long, but I know it's been long for you too to sit here. But I want to see this thing out. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Yeah, at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. I'm saying, Perry, do you know if the judge has a mentor that he can find in? I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure in that kind of thing, he's talking to somebody at the law lab area or some, he got to have somebody to try to figure out how to iron this thing out. Perry is like the band on the Titanic cheering as it sinks. No, I mean, man, you can have this conversation later. When Diddy walk out that courthouse, I want you playing the flute and see nothing but water come out the end of it. Ah, let me see. But anyway, people, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, doing this thing, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Let me get up, maybe grab something to eat and take a little hour nap and take care of some other business. But I'll see you guys in the morning. Take care.